They are here. Do not let them escape. They will destroy our planet.
Let us focus ourselves on the biogeochemical cycles on land. But before that, let us first define the biogeochemical cycle itself. It is any of the natural pathways by which essential elements of living matter are circulated. A biogeochemical cycle is one of several natural cycles in which conserved matter moves through the biotic and abiotic parts of an ecosystem. There are several types of biogeochemical cycles. Broadly, the biogeochemical cycles can be divided into two parts, the gaseous and the sedimentary part. Under the biogeochemical cycles are few different cycles. These are the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the sulfur cycle, the hydrologic cycle, the phosphorus cycle, oxygen cycle, and the sedimentary cycle.
One of the type of biogeochemical cycles on land is sedimentary cycle. Sedimentary cycles is a cycle which comprises the weathering of an existing rock, followed by the erosion of minerals, their transport and deposition, then burial. In a sedimentary cycle, the elements move from land to water to sediment. The main reservoir are the soil and sedimentary rocks, and each cycle basically has a solution phase and a rock phase. This is a very important thing in our ecosystem, as the weathering of rocks, industrial processing, and mining add the nutrient to the cycling pool. The nutrients contained in the cycling pool are picked up by producers, and the process is called uptake. Organic matter with nutrients is then passed to the next trophic levels. Without this rock cycle, weathering and erosion, transport, and deposition would all effectively stop.
The phosphorus cycle is a process by which phosphorus moves through the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. Phosphorus is essential for plant and animal growth, as well as the health of microbes inhabiting the soil, but is gradually depleted from the soil over time. The phosphorus cycle is a slow process which involves the most important steps, which are weathering, absorption by plants, absorption by animals, and return to the environment through decomposition. In weathering, the phosphorus is found in the rocks in abundance. That is why the phosphorus cycle starts in the Earth's crust. The phosphate salts are broken down from the rocks. These salts are washed away into the ground where they mix in the soil. In the return of phosphorus back to the ecosystem, when the plants and animals die, they are decomposed by microorganisms, and during this process, the organic form of phosphorus is converted into inorganic form, which is recycled to soil and water. The importance of the phosphorus cycle is that it plays a critical role in cell development and is a key component of molecules that store energy such as ATP, DNA, and lipids. Insufficient phosphorus in the soil can result in a decreased crop yield.
Anthropogenic effects are derived from human activities, as opposed to those occurring in natural environments without human influences. Examples are pollution, climate change, habitat alteration, overexploitation, invasive species, soil erosion, and excessive greenhouse gases. The anthropogenic effects on land, which are closely related to each other, are soil erosion, eutrophication, and invasive species. Although soil erosion can be caused by natural occurrences, humans can also be a cause of this event. Through mining, industrialization, and deforestation, soil erosion have become more frequent. Because of this, the sedimentary cycle is affected as land masses were excavated. Moreover, these activities have severely affected the biodiversity. Last is the invasive species, wherein due to sudden changes in the land and introduction to new environment, the species try to adapt to its new surroundings, invading the space of the native species. Intentional or not, humans are the pioneer of introducing new species to a new environment. This causes imbalance in the biodiversity as they try to adapt to surroundings and overpowers the native species.
Invasive species
are non-native species that significantly alter or damage the colonized ecosystems through negatively affecting the invaded habitats and bioregions, causing damage ecologically, environmentally, and economically. They threaten to prey and outcompete native species for food, cause or carry diseases, and prevent native species to reproduce. Land or terrestrial invasive species includes foreign plants, animals, and other organisms that have adapted to live on land. This may be intentionally introduced by humans to control wildlife or other invasive, as well as brought as pets or for gardening. Other unintentional ways invasive species may spread is due to moving of firewood, ornamental plants escaping, or released pets, as well as natural occurrences such as hurricanes or floods. However, we humans are the most dangerous invasive species on Earth. We have taken over every continent and altered the natural processes of the land by adjusting it to cater to our needs. We have failed to acknowledge unessential species as these does not directly inherit or contribute to everyday human lives, causing them to lose their habitats and grow extinct.
Our genes play an important role in creating a change in the ecosystem. To do so, our behavior and our environment, such as how we react and how we respond to various stresses. Epigenetics is a study on how organisms' behavior and their environment can cause changes that affect the way on genes work. Unlike genetic changes, epigenetics are reversible and do not change DNA sequence, but can change how our body reads a DNA sequence. Looking at a biochemical micro level, epigenetic regulators are responsible for how closely packed individual genomic regions and therefore how accessible or they are not. This works by small adhere or detached chemical groups. The resulting marking of the genome is read by specialized enzyme that can cause the switching on or off the genes. The human activities which contributes to the climate change and global warming are indeed the modifier in epigenetics. The adaptation of one living organism into an industrial environment from wonders of fauna and flora can cause their life. Visualizing outside our homes and seeing tall buildings instead of trees. Looking at the gray sky instead of blue. Hearing noises instead of seeing birds. While walking on the street, wearing masks instead of breathing the fresh air. This might become a reality if our society doesn't start to think about the repercussions of our actions. The irrevocable decisions that we make today will ultimately become the arbiter of what the world. Similar to an illusion in which we cannot escape and find for a better day. The environment is very fragile thing, and if we do not take care of it, it will result in ecological crisis which can put the mankind into an existential test.
We must act now. Remove our greed and together, let us save our planet.